Well, over the past 3 days, we have done different types of activities. We have had cities come from around the world to present their use cases on how they are using digital technologies to improve the living conditions, environmental conditions in their cities. We have also had experts, researchers, and academics share with us their latest findings and as well as their experiments in using digital technologies. And finally, we have been exposed to what some leading tech companies are doing in this area. And I think this combination of three things has generated a lot of new ideas, because all of the combination of this results of recent research, use cases, and the emerging technologies being led by tech companies is really giving us a new vision on how we can manage our cities in the future. For me, I come back to Guangzhou once or twice a year, and it's visible, it's tangible. I can see each time I come back another application or another use of technology that removes another stress point from your daily life. And I think this is unique. I have not seen this in any other country where cities are systematically removing barriers, removing stress points that can make your life easier. Everything from the way you take the metro, the way you take the bus, the way you buy a ticket and just almost hop onto a train, and a high-speed train, to all these different apps that are all consolidated into one. This library is a perfect example. You can borrow books and return books using a digital interface, and it makes life just so much easier. There are many, many different aspects, and I'll just give 2 or 3 to illustrate this. First of all, the SDGs, many of the SDGs, if we are to monitor progress seriously, we most probably will need new sources of data. And digital technologies can make it much easier to collect and analyze that data. Some of the data can be collected using the mobile phone. Some of the data can be used by drones. Some of the data can be used by sensors. All of this, if we do it right, will provide us the right data, the type of analysis that can help us make the right decisions. So I think this is one of the key areas, is data collection, data analysis to inform decision making. And I think this is very important. The other aspect is that in the conventional way of doing things, we collect the data, we analyze it, we disseminate it, then we give it to decision makers, and the time between data analysis and action can be quite long. Today, with digital technologies, we can provide new information, analysis in real time. So we shorten the time it takes between discovering a problem and finding a solution. I'm not so sure that digital technologies will change the way a city looks, but I think it will change the way we use the city. Let me give an example. In Seoul, in Korea, they developed a card which you use for your mobility. So you can use the same card for the metro, you can use the same card for the bus, you can use the same card to rent a scooter or bike. And at the same time, the system tells you the closest places where you can find a restaurant, find a movie theater, or whatever. And because Seoul wants to promote the use of public transport, they also provide incentives and show you where you can get discounted goods and services. So what has happened after they developed this ecosystem, they discovered that people are going out more. People are socializing more. People are going more to the cinema, to the museums, to the public spaces, to restaurants, etc. So this is an example of how you make people's lives easier and you change the way they use the city and makes the city much more user-friendly. And the more people go out and frequent public spaces, the more human they become, the better they become, and the city just benefits overall. I think it's highly significant that 3 different metropolises are hosting the same event. This is an innovation in the governance of sports. So instead of each city be competing with each other to become the sole host of an event, spending a lot of money on new infrastructure, new sports facilities, here we're taking advantage of existing facilities in 3 different metropolitan areas to host the same event. It's common sense. And I think I want to congratulate the Greater Bay Area for taking this initiative. And I think it's a growing trend. It's a trend that we're observing also for the next World Cup, which I think is being co-hosted by 2 countries. And I think in the future, this will be how we go forward, because it doesn't make any sense for each city or by itself to build all those facilities when those facilities are available within, let's say, a 100-kilometer radius. I think the Guangzhou Stadium is a perfect example. It hosted the National Games several years ago, and just like most facilities of its nature, the Guangzhou government was looking for ways to make the stadium more sustainable. And today the stadium hosts a wide variety of events which are not just sporting events. It's using the same venue to host concerts, to host exhibitions, and to cater to the physical activity needs of all the age groups, from children to elderly, etc. And I think this is an excellent example. It's not only, I was told that this stadium, the organizing entity behind the stadium, is actually no longer needing subsidies and grants. In fact, it is making a profit. And I think part of the reason of its success was also the way it was designed. It is really designed as a very user-friendly space. You can actually access the main hall from the entrance to the seating without encountering any barriers. You don't have to go up the stairs, go down the stairs, change whatever in order to get to the event hall. You can actually walk in through the main entrance and it's all at the same level. Not to mention that that makes life much easier for those who are physically challenged. I think today we are realizing that urban life has also many shortcomings. Of course, living in a city compared to the countryside has many advantages. You have access to public services, you have access to better educational and employment opportunity. But there is also a downside. A very large percentage of the urban population is sedentary, is inactive, and this has caused lifestyle problems. Lifestyle illnesses, high blood pressure, diabetes, all of these problems that are associated with a sedentary lifestyle. So I think it's very important that a city promotes sport. And Guangzhou is an excellent example of how it's promoting sports, not just for athletes, but for everybody. We see all kinds of sports facilities, all kinds of equipment. You find it in almost every neighborhood that are user-friendly, can be used by young people, can be used by older people, And this is going to promote health and well-being for the whole city. And at the same time, because we are pursuing not just sports facilities, but urban greening and urban cooling and all of these things, which is making the city healthier. So I think one of the big advantages in pursuing a sports policy is that you will have a much healthier city, you will have much healthier people, and you will have very much enhanced well-being. I think cities around the world suffer from many similar problems. They suffer from the same challenges: congestion, air pollution, water pollution, which all leads to poor health and less well-being. And the fact that we are pursuing collaboration between many cities in the Greater Bay Area so that they can share their infrastructure, they can share their facilities, is a very bold step in the right direction. One of the biggest obstacles to sustainable development is the syndrome of what we call competing jurisdiction. I want to have the next big shopping mall. You also want the next big shopping mall. I want the new football stadium. You want the new football stadium. This is what I call unhealthy competition, because you're duplicating efforts, you're duplicating infrastructure, you're multiplying unnecessary travel between all of these different entities. So by working towards a Greater Bay Area where all these cities will be interconnected by high-speed rail, means that it will be much easier. If I can't find what I need in Guangzhou, maybe I can find it in Macau, maybe I can find it in Shenzhen, and it makes it much more easier. And at the same time, it creates a critical mass of people, of institutions, of opportunities for education, opportunities for employment, opportunities for leisure, for tourism, that makes it seamless for people coming to live and enjoy the region.